name is Dan, and you are watching a music teacher's reaction. Oh, there we go. Now, for Best Music Coach, my name is Dan, and you're watching a music teacher's reaction live and in real time to the Persona 3 original soundtrack. I've never heard this music before in my life, not once, ever. I have nothing prepared. I have no prior knowledge, so I'm just going to be listening to the music and making some observations and reactions and doing a little teaching and breaking down some music theory on the way as we go. If this is your first stream, welcome. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling with Burn My Dread. Oh. All the groove. Okay, so something that was really cool about this, I don't know how much you guys know about genre, but that thing started off like it was going to be like this R&B, like jazzy thing, and then it broke down into full-on like hard rock metal, and that was absolutely wild to hear that change. It was so much fun to listen to. So if this is your first stream, as we go through, I'll start to be able to point out some connections between songs as I hear a couple more. But with that being said, let's go on to the next one called The Poem for Everyone's Souls. Oh, I think we have heard this before in Persona 4 or 5. I recognize this. Ah, yes. Yes. We've heard this one before. Yeah, I was gonna say, That sounds exactly like what it sounds like in 3, 4, and 5. Thanks, Sonorexo. So, that was halfway through. I think one of the things that threw me is that they resolved that to a major in Persona 4 at the very end, a major chord, which we did not hear, but that's only halfway through. So let's see what happens at the very last, at the very end of the song. We're also going to see, I can't remember, perhaps it's the second time this comes around in the game, because usually I think we've heard it once or twice in each game. There we go. That's our major chord. Ending on the B major as opposed to the B minor. Okay, so let's actually break down what happened there. So we're not going to listen to it again, but we are going to talk about it. So what we heard there were 2 of the 4 things that can make things sound creepy when you use violins, violas, cellos, and basses, or in other words, strings, bowed strings. So the first thing we heard was a tremolo. It's when you hear very fast notes going back and forth. And you hear that with that tremolo, there's a second part, which is dissonance. You can hear all the notes very close to each other. They're all kind of like rubbing up against each other. And then on top of that, we have a third thing to make things creepy and strange and weird, which is that we have pitch modulation, or sliding notes. Right there. Hear that? How it's like sliding up like that? Yeah, so that's 3 out of 4 things that we know you can use to make things sound creepy. And we discovered these 4 things while listening to the Elden Ring, I think was the soundtrack, because there was a lot of creepy strings there. So I think what's interesting here too is like, I think we heard this in Persona 4. There's a couple times where it got a little sort of like lo-fi groovy thing. I could be conflating two soundtracks in my mind though. Even the just the chord progression there and the melody and the extra bits, that whole thing just felt, honestly, I'm not sure what's going on in the game right there, but it felt sort of like something was like something was perhaps wrong, or you're meeting someone who you're going to be suspicious of. I could be completely wrong. But there's this sort of odd off-kilter element going on there. Yeah, it is very housey, isn't it? So if you guys are wondering what these drums are like house drums from house music. It's like it's a little poppy. The bass line is also very house. There's that little thing on top of it. Not super housey, but everything else. Like, you listen to the way the bass is just grooving along. Very typical of the house genre. Yeah, very housey. Alright, this next one is Quad. Troubled. Ow! Come on now. Yes, I am a big fan of pizzicato strings when they're like done like that. Oh, pizzicato, by the way, is what you call it when violin, viola, cello, acoustic bass players actually pluck the strings instead of bowing them with the bow. Ah! That was honestly super delicious. So look, there's two different ways, basically, you can play a violin or viola or a cello or an acoustic bass if you're not thinking of it in terms of like jazz or like experimental stuff. You basically play it with a bow, which traditionally was a horsehair bow. Now I think they sometimes make synthetic hair, but you can also use horsehair too. And then the other thing you can do is you can also just pluck the strings. When you pluck the string, it's called pizzicato. When we play with the bow, it's called arco. All right, let's check out the next one. This is called crisis. Okay, so in Shin Megami Tensei 5 that we listened to now, understand there is some sort of connection between Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. But if we listen, I believe, so if we listen to, hang on. If we listen to what was going on there, it was like all dissonant intervals, the entire thing. All you're doing there is you're taking tritones, one of the nastiest, dirtiest, most awesome intervals out there, and just using that as like the thing that was holding the entire piece, which is very interesting. Okay, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. No, not playing an additive connection. That's my prerogative. Yeah. That's my prerogative. That's just the way that I want to live. That's my prerogative. And you can't tell me what to do. Okay, so that was totally cool for a couple reasons. The first thing I want to point out is like basically that whole song was just two chords going back and forth. So all right, and this is the cool thing about music theory, but it's also like the lesson to learn about music theory. It's like, okay, music theory is going to let you say, all right, very basically, there's basically two chords, but then to get into how those two chords were presented in such a genius way to like make the whole thing really work, which is like, it's like we're just going 5-1, 5-1 in A minor like the whole way through. Really interesting. Had a ton of fun. Interestingly enough, with 5-1, you can also you kind of get like Beethoven-y on it too, among many other things. That was just one quick reference that I thought of. All right, let's keep it going. And I know I messed up the melody a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, that was so cool. Ah! I love that. Ah. By the way, if you have super chatted or are going to super chat, I'm going to read them all out at the end of the stream. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for your super chats. And also your super chats. Okay, there's actually some really interesting things going on here. Okay, so I'm going to break down real quick an interesting music theory thing here that actually you don't see every day, and that's why I'm going to break it down. I might have missed this because this is actually the second time we've heard pretty much this chord progression. I might have missed the first time around, but I'm going to get it this time. Hey, real quick before we do that, shout out and thank you to Holly Finlay, who says they just bought my course for gamers. That's right. I don't have sponsors on this channel. I only let you know things that I think are going to be worth your time, and I have a course that I made just for gamers so you can understand more about music theory. Anyway, you can check it out. There's going to be a link in the description or in the comments. Okay, there's also links in the community tab. So let's talk about the music theory here, which is really cool. So basically, what we have here is we're just going back and forth between this, like essentially. What is basically, we could call it an F major. Really, it's like an F5. I think there's a couple extra notes in there, but we're just going to really simplify it down here. So we have basically an F5 to an F with a tritone, so an F sharp 4, and then we go to like the 4 chord. We essentially go to a B flat, but with an F over it. So I think what's really interesting there is to go, the fact that you have all 3 of those notes here in a row is honestly, you don't hear that in every song. It's actually a very interesting thing to hear here, that not only is the tritone being used from F, which is basically our 1, so we sort of have the sharp 4, but then on top of that, we actually have the sort of real 4 from the harmonized F major scale, the B flat, in there as well, which in my opinion is really cool and also really interesting. I'll put a link in the chat to check out the course now that we've talked about it.
I've never felt like so miserable. I've never felt like thinking this will last forever. They're just with me. You gotta tell no hero. All over me. When stars smile and move, what a
So I think what's really interesting too, it's like, man, music is so infinite and you can't know like every genre of music. I mean, you could if that was the only thing you did, but like it's so hard to hear every single genre ever. But here's the thing. Listening to this for me was really unique. It was like, yeah, a little like European 2000s, but like in addition to that, just like the way the vocals were constructed, the fact that the drums are almost like implying this double time thing. It's like I've honestly never really heard a song like that before, and I would have trouble if you said, give this a genre. I'd have trouble putting a genre to it. Perhaps there's someone out there who's watching this who knows the genre to stick that in, but I certainly don't. And that doesn't happen every day, but it does happen some days. I don't know what to do with that thing, but that was a lot of fun. Drum and bass, but with those vocals and everything? Okay, well, let's actually talk about why this progression was so kind of cool. So this progression was so kind of, or I should say is, so kind of cool because look, we start off with this minor 7 chord, okay? And then we go to this major 7 chord. But let's simplify it even further than that. Let's go, okay, we have a minor chord, and then one half step higher, we have a major chord. Already right there, that's setting us up for that Phrygian sound. That's saying, look, basically you can think of this as being scale degree 3 of the major scale A. But what's cool is at the end, then there was this G major 7. So some very, very interesting things going on with that chord progression, and was, of course, a lot of fun to get down and funky with. Let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Oh, interesting. We got those little reverse piano sounds there. Huh. So again, some really interesting choices being made where it's like you have this almost like very typical chord progression of C minor to B flat major to A flat major, basically giving us a 1 flat 7 flat 6 type thing. Then like hitting an A note in there. And then also just with the gung gung. The first time was different from the gung gung. On the second time, a lot of care and attention being put into this. And Puddinghun says a little mythology info on Tartarus. It is both a primordial deity and the name of a deep abyss that existed before the Olympians, yes, and is much lower than Hades. Oh, I didn't know it was lower than Hades. Thank you for that. Upvote Shin Megami Tensei 4. You got it, Puddinghun. By the way, I saw someone also say that they just got my book. Congratulations. Have fun with it. Oh my gosh. I'm so stoked for you. You're going to learn so much about music theory. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. By the way, if you want to learn more about music theory, there's a link pinned in the chat for the 10 things I think every gamer should know and learn about music theory. It's a free thing that I'm going to email to you, and I'm going to send you another free email tomorrow, and while you're there, you can like save 92% on my book and things like that. Okay, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling with Tartarus, which is not to be confused with chopped raw beef with anchovies with a raw egg on it. So a lot of these drums are really kind of 2000s-y. Oh, that's tartar. Oh, tartar sauce. What am I thinking of? Boeuf tartare. Yeah, tartar. Tartar is the greatest toothpaste brand. Oh, chat, keep those going. Okay, so not a lot going on in terms of, well, story happening, but from what I understood, we're going to hear actually that come back with more layers on it. Someone said that in the chat. We're actually going to hear that again, which I look forward to hearing because I was just kind of like hanging out in E minor. Okay, this next one is called, what is this thing called? Mass Destruction. Uh-oh. Not to be confused with the time where my dog ate my homework, which was math destruction.
There's a way, kind of beast now, face reality, never be charity. The enemy you're fighting covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, then destroy the nation. You rhyme slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then on the rival. Round up around, spit out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, that this too loud. This was this sound, and bombs whole ground. Surround up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Form of the truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one world, one law. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction.
Oh yeah, down, 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 baby, baby, down, 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 down. Oh yeah, down, 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 baby, baby, down, 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 down. Oh yeah, down, 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 baby, baby, down, 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 down. Oh yeah, down, 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 baby, baby, down, 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 down.
Yo, this is like Mariah Carey meets hip-hop meets metal meets ska. Like, I don't even know what to call this, but it's awesome.
never be charity. The enemy, your buddy, covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, destroy the nation. You rhyme slow motion, give me motivation. Get out now, ain't dead on arrival. Round up around, get out, all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, they diss you loud. Get what this sound and bombs whole ground. So round up, don't ease your case, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one war, one law. But the battle goes on, shadows all mass destruction.
Like, even though it's just saying baby, baby, it's like so Mariah Carey. Yeah, persona genre. Alright, that was so much fun. Like, yeah, I think we could just call that persona genre. But that was crazy. So it was really, it's like the vocals, even the way the singer was saying the word baby was like very Mariah Carey. Very sort of like 2000s, very late 90s, like Mariah Carey thing. And then on top of that, you had like the ska, like horn, trumpet thing going on there. And then you had like the groove and mean guitars. That was like absolutely so much fun. Okay, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. I didn't quite get that line in there, but that was hilarious. Okay, that bass line. I'm totally butchering it, but that is honestly, it's almost like humorous and like a little funny to have that bass line played like that underneath the music. Let's keep this thing going. Uh-huh. All right, we're gonna skip here except this one just loops.
Feeling no pressure, but appears in the media. Getting jiggy with confound, cause I'm telling you. Anyway you be from New York to Siberia. Gotta play your own beat and shake it every day. I'ma put it down, grabbing this ground. Lay your dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 365 5 to 4 to 3, 2. One more time, heavy punch line about the bruise. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high, until you feel the vibes that touch the sky. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high, until you feel the vibes that touch the sky. Feeling no pressure, but a peace in the media. Getting jiggy with confound, place I'm telling ya. Anywhere you be, from New York to Siberia. Gotta be your own beat and shake it till we end. I'ma put it down, grab me this crown. Lay your dollars on the ground, gonna double up now. 6 to 5 to 4 to 3, 2. One more time, heavy punch line about the bruise. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high, until you feel the vibes that touch the sky. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high, until you feel the vibes that touch the sky. Feeling no pressure, but a peace in the media. Getting jiggy with confound.
Oh my gosh. Yo. All right, straight up, I think that is easily my favorite song that we've heard so far. That was so good and so creative, and like the groove and the flow was tight. That was amazing. I loved that. Wow. That was a lot of fun. This one's called Master of Shadow. It's actually taking rhythmic elements from the previous song. Same key too. Okay, so many cool things to talk about here. All right, number one, it's like in this part right here that we're listening to, it's like it's in 4/4, but it's not at all giving you the strongest weak, strong, weakest like series of beats for the metric hierarchy that you'd expect to feel. That's part of what makes it feel like it's floating and like it's kind of weird. Also, borrowing similar rhythms and grooves and things from actually the track we just listened to before, which was Deep Breath, Deep Breath. And then, I mean, just the creativeness of it, man. It's like, I've never heard something like this before in my life, which is real. And I'm not saying I know everything because I don't know everything. No one knows everything. Anyone who says they know everything, be wary of them because they don't know everything. That means they're lying to you. But like, I've never heard anything like that before in my life. And that was really cool too. Let's keep this thing rocking and rolling.
I never felt like down. I never felt like down. But they're still with me. Down. You gotta turn up down.
You know, it reminds me of like, a little bit of like Michelle. I'm totally gonna mess her name up. I'm so sorry, but Michelle Nunglicello. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Y'all know who I'm talking about? What's her name? Michelle. Okay, Michelle. All right, I'm just gonna copy paste it in. Thank you, Wikipedia. There's one artist that I think. Nidjicello. Sorry. I just put that in the chat if you're watching this on demand or if you're in the chat. So, like I was saying, the only artist I can kind of compare to this is Michelle. If you listen to some of her stuff, it's kind of like this, where it's like a little hip-hoppy, a little funk fusion. There's like these elements of pop to it. And yeah, she's really amazing. Especially check out her stuff when Dave Fujinski, which is another FiuczyNski. Dave Fujinski, Fuse, Fuze, from the Screaming Headless Torsos. You can check out him playing with her, and that is just nutter butters. So this is what we heard before. Except now there's piano. This next one is called An Unpleasant Premonition. Oh, come on now. Ah. Okay. So, not too much going on there, but another example of a super grooving thing that's rocking and rolling with just two chords going back and forth. This next one is called Fearful Experience. Whoa. Huh. All right, so a couple things are making this feel like it is, well, unsettling and fearful. The first is the dissonance. The dissonance means how the music doesn't feel like it's sitting, like it doesn't feel like it's resolving. It feels like it's always moving somewhere. Whoopsie, I got you for Lisa. And like the way the instruments are not agreeing with each other in the sense of like major harmony, that's part of it too. And then also there isn't like it sort of feels like it's floating. That's also part of what makes it feel, yeah. Does indeed sound fearful. And this next one is called Calamity Mod. Wait, no, just Calamity. Oh, YouTube just said now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators earn more money inserting ads the more viewers are watching. Give it a try. No, I will not. Close. By the way, if you're wondering how sometimes I'm like really lucky and like I hear a chord and I put my hands on the guitar and I just play it, it's not because I have perfect pitch, it's because I have halfway decent relative pitch and I can remember how something sounds compared to other things, which is why sometimes when a song starts, you'll see me kind of like, because I'm trying to find where my North Star is, and once I find my North Stars, and a lot of the time I'm good to go from there. Hey, so I just did not insert an ad for you, so maybe... because, like, I want to give you stuff that's going to be worth your time. Like, if I'm going to show you an ad, I want to make sure it's worth your time. So here's something that is worth your time. There's a link in the chat that's pinned to the top. It's for the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. Go check that out. That is worth your time. That's actual content. It's actual value for you, not just watching some ad about something that you're never going to buy. Go grab that. It's for free for you. Go check that out. All right. How do you tell what key a song is in without perfect pitch? Well, usually you need an instrument if you're just hearing it. But if you're looking at the music, there's a lot of really cool ways with music theory that you can actually figure out what key a piece of music is in without ever hearing it just by looking at the notes. Now, obviously, it's not foolproof because if you have some really crazy, complex music that changes keys or isn't really in a key, then you're not going to be able to tell. But like 90% of the time, if you have a sheet of music and you have all the notes printed out using music theory, and actually, quick plug, talk about this in my course for gamers, also in my music theory book, where you actually, in the course for gamers, you actually do this with 10 video game themes. You go through and you actually can figure out what key they are in, and then also do some fun music theory analysis on there. All right, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Yeah, grooving. I love the groove, man. I'm surprised none of you pointed out the irony, me being like, I'm not going to insert an ad, and then I talked your ear off for 30 seconds about everything that I'm selling. Dan's so great for not inserting ads. And Dan's like, here's an ad. Dan didn't insert an ad at all. No, but then Dan talked about his music theory book and his music theory courses, which in effect is an ad. I was just pointing out the contradiction there. This is just wild. Like, even, like, what? Like, I love it. It's groovy, but also, like, what? Of the Noteworthy Clan says, this song here is the only one that Shounji Meguro, excuse me, didn't compose. That was nuts. I mean, just nuts. Like, I loved it. By the way, when I say things are nuts or I say things that are crazy, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that is in, like, I don't have other words at that time to more actually represent my thoughts on it because my brain is just going, nah! Okay, let's keep it rocking and rolling. Oh, hey, we've heard this chord progression before. Like, what? Oh, they're saying jump around now? I heard triple brown now. I'm gonna type what I heard. I heard triple brown now. Triple brown cow. Triple brown cow. That makes more sense than triple brown now. Oh yeah, I hear the meow. William, that's hilarious. Okay, well that was interesting. This next one is called Tataris Yabasha Block. Oh yeah, it's really evolving now. Huh. There's a little more of it. It's gonna loop. Yeah, house chords, exactly. Uh-huh. One thing that's really cool about house music, besides the fact that house music is really cool, it's like the way the chords work. Oh. Huh. Beautiful. All right. This next one is called A Deep Mentality. Why is it called house music? That's a great question. I'm not sure, but it got invented in Detroit. Was it Detroit? It was Detroit in like the 80s. There was like two house scenes. I think one was in Chicago, one was in Detroit. Way back in the day. The warehouse in Chicago. There you go, Bexel. Exactly. Yep. Thanks for that. That is so Mariah, man. Well, not this part. Right there, yeah. Not there. Okay, so I'm gonna break down one little tidbit from this song that was pretty interesting. Okay, and that is, so this song basically is in B minor. It's basically doing what we would call the B minor blues, kinda, sorta. Now, what's interesting is when it goes to the 5 chord, the F sharp, it goes, which is interesting because you would think that if you're doing the 5, you might have the sharp 5 of the 5, or the augmented 5th of the 5, leading us back to 1, because really we're in a minor key, but instead, we have that little line in there, and that note right there, that's a D sharp, which would actually be the, and this is going to be a little advanced, but it's actually going to be the major third of the B chord, which is, we can think of the B as being the tonic, or the root of the key of this piece. But when we go to the 5, we're actually hitting, as opposed to, and let me just break that down for you real quick. So listen to this. See how that kind of fits with it? And that works. Now listen to, I'm going to play that line in context from the song. So. Hey, what? Just take those records off the shelf. Okay, real quick, before we go on to the next song, there's a link that is pinned in the chat for 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. And then you can also save like 92% off my book. But like, that's beside the point. Go get the free stuff there. Go click on that link. Go get free stuff. And yeah, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Snuff cassette. I wonder. I think we've heard this before. I think we've heard the same exact. We heard this before, I think, even in Persona. It was Persona 4 or Persona 5, I think, is almost like a victory theme. I could be wrong, but I think we heard the same progression before, as it was like more triumphant. I think there was a lot more going on in it. All right, this next one is called The Path Was Closed. Okay, so we're gonna actually gonna pause it here for today. If you guys have a remix for that song that Smolivia talked about, shoot me a link to that at Best Music Coach on Instagram, and we will do it before this stream is over. But for now, this is the end of Disc 1. Please hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we are going to do Disc number 2. Okay, also, there's a pinned thing in the chat with a link to the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. Go click on it already so I can stop telling you about it. Over 500 gamers have downloaded it already. How much more do you need to hear? Okay. Now, all right, so I think, my main takeaway from this, number 1, is how much fun the Persona music is. But number 2, really, it's like there is this almost Persona genre, right? It's like, where have you ever heard music that sounds like these tracks before? I mean, really, like you can point to elements of it, right? You can be like, okay, yeah, the drums are like drum and bass. You can say, okay, well, the vocals kind of sound like Mariah Carey. You can do all this, all these little, you can point to all these things. But to say that they are one particular genre, I cannot point to it. Perhaps someone out there could, but I can't. And so I think, we could actually call this persona genre, the Persona genre, because it's really unique. It's like so creative, so inventive, just the use of like those extra sound effects. Persona genre. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're going to start reading through some super chats, but I'm still going to leave the line open here if anyone wants to shoot the message for that remix over to at Best Music Coach on Instagram. I've got that open in another tab here. I'll get that rock and rolling. So let's read some super chats in the meantime. Actually going to go full screen here. If anyone sends it to me on Instagram, just shoot me a quick message in the chat. And if anyone sees that message and sees that I don't see it, everyone just start typing 2 in the chat. Just type the letter 2. Okay, so Alessandro Coelho, AC in the house, says, I wonder what Dan's persona would be. This goes to Devil May Cry 5. Pikachu says, Pika Pika, Pika Pika, Pika Pika Pikachu. And I'm going to translate that into English. Which means P3 has the same composer as 4 and 5, Soji Meguro. Vocals for Persona 3 Fez, or FES, are by Yumi Kawamura and Lotus Juice. Persona 3 portable vocals by Mayumi Fujita and Shuhei Kita. Sorry if I got any of that wrong. I did my best. Also, Pikachu, thank you so much for your continued support of this channel, both in the Super Chats and in the comments. Rubberman202 says, I'm assuming Mother 1 and Mother 3 will be part of the next batch of 5 OCs to vote for. Well, that's not quite how it works, so instead I'm requesting Donkey Kong 1 OST. Now we're going to add in one at a time, so we'll have after the stream today, we're going to add that in. Yes, Pika, I got you. Pika near. You got it. Thank you for your support, as always, Rubberman. And Puddinhunt11 says, Hey, Dan, I'd like to note that in Persona 3 to Persona 5, the poem for everyone's soul is exactly the same as the one you get to P1 and P2. It's more different. Also, my playlist helps you. Upvote Shin Megami Tensei 4. Thank you, Puddinhunt, for making the playlist that we use today. Simon says, I love Persona 3. It's a very sad game, but the music is so upbeat. Hope you enjoy the funk in this OST. I most certainly did. This would go towards Xenoblade Chronicles. You got it, Simon. Dell says, here I'm again. Yes, Dell, it's been a while. This goes to Shin Megami Tensei 4. I'm enjoying these reactions a lot. Merci, teacher. Ah, mais de rien, Dell. C'est un plaisir. Alessandro Coelho, AC, says, just to help it along, this one goes out to Cuphead's OST. Of the note Worthy Clan says P3 uses a lot of 2000s European dance elements in its instrumentation. Yeah, for sure. I can confirm it was formative for my music taste playing it as a 7-year-old. That's awesome. Putting more funds toward Umaniko when they cry. Thanks. You got it, Noteworthy Clan. And thanks for the info there, too. That was very interesting to hear that that's part of your story. Let me just check and see if this message came through over here. Let's see. Oh, that's the explore button, not the message button. I'm old. I don't know how to use Instagram. Hit and explore. I'm like, why am I seeing a bunch of Instagram models right now? No. Okay. FCKN says, for Attack on Titan, it'll be a bit, but the wait will make the arrival sweeter. Thanks for helping me appreciate the music I love more than I already did. Well, so glad I'm able to bring you some value, and so glad you are enjoying these streams, and thank you for your support. Okay, Holly Finlay says, hey Dan, just bought your course and I'm very excited. I'm so excited for you, Holly. You're gonna learn so much. There is so much in that course. It really should have been 5 separate courses. It's like 11 hours of video lessons just for the main course, and then there's a whole bunch of like 2.5 hours bonus content. It's crazy. But this is where Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, that's the OST Soji Meguro did for this. You have got it, Holly, and I hope you have so much fun in the course. Let me know how it goes. Demonesis says, I would like to put Shantae and the Pirate's Curse on the list. You got it, Demonesis. And thank you for your support, and thank you for your super chat. Puddinghun11 says, a little mythology info on Tartarus. He was both a primordial deity and the name of a deep abyss that existed before the Olympians and is much lower than Hades. Lower, I assume, meaning like more evil. And that sort of old-fashioned human way of thinking. Upvote Shin Megami Tensei 4. Okay. Hey, Demonesis, I see your thumbs up. And No Stuff Sherlock says, did you know that Arcana is the means by which all is revealed? I did not know, and I'm not even sure what that means. Perhaps you could clarify in the chat. Whoopsie Wogsy upvotes for Lisa. Bex Lizard says, gotta keep Chrono Trigger on top. You got it, Bex Lizard. And I am Dirt Matter. Once again, just an absolutely fantastic handle there. Says, I saw someone say Dan is I'm not sure that it's polite to say that. Hey, can anyone confirm that Gaiga, and then it sounds like a bad word, for not inserting ads, can we get someone to draw that, please? I want that to be a thing, please. I honestly feel like that's a bad word. I feel like if I'm going to say that, it's going to be a bad word. Like, you tell me. I just said I'm old. I don't know anything. Okay, we got some links come through. Thank you, Josh and Rose. All right, see if we can get this hooked up for you guys. Here's the remix that was requested. This is a Deep Mentality, correct? Is the one we were looking for? That one right there? All right, let's pause this background music. Let's do it. All right, this is Lotus Juice. Let's rock and roll. All right, now.
Remix.
Ah, that was so cool.
You wanna hide, but you can't pretend forever. No, I see through it. I can see your movement. Stop the bullshitting. Stay real to it. Soon I'm going to a better place. Hoping what I left behind becomes a better place.
Get jiggy with it.
Get lost in this torturous, so murderous, self-inclined Spartacus. Total sight of what the purpose is. Hold me back. Don't let it come back from where I spent. Realize things look clear from where I'm standing. Took a breather. Check your status. Simple mathematics out of balance. Just stop thinking yourself. Realize, hard to see. you ain't open, what you waiting for, man? Your survival of the fittest, you ain't getting nothing. Wish for thinking of yours, gonna take you nowhere. Feed your hungry brain and be one of those rare.
Oh, love it.
Go unconscious.
All right, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for suggesting that and super chatting that and making that thing happen. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so I am Dirt Matter, says, I saw someone say Dan is a, and again, I feel like you're tricking me into saying a bad word here, but I'm going to say it. Please don't cancel me for this if this is wrong. Geiga Chad. I feel so dirty after saying that. For not inserting ads, can we get someone to draw that, please? I want it a thing, please. Al Coop says, I don't know if this game will ever make it high enough to get a reaction, but I'd love to see reaction to Sonic and the Black Knight. We discovered it recently. The music is incredible. Oh my gosh, chat, you're saying a Giga? 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 Geiga? Giga? I know you guys keep on telling me it's a compliment, and I think this is just a conspiracy. You all got on a Discord server before this and were like, hey, we're going to trick Dan into saying some crazy stuff today. It's not even real. We're just going to make up a bunch of syllables and have him say it, and then we're going to take it and we're going to remix it until time is over. Like, that's it. Like, oh yeah, that Dan, you know, he's growing that channel. Let's take him down a notch and make him say something. Okay, the next one is by Al Coop. Al Coop says, yeah, I was saying gigabyte, right? Oh, Giga Chad. Whatever. I don't know this game. Al Coop says, I don't know this game. Okay, we did Al Coop. Thank you, Al Coop. Okay, Rave265 says, this is the start of God Eater requests. Go Sheena is my favorite composer, and his music, in my opinion, gets so much better with each project. Super stoked to check that out. Check Urban Dictionary. See, now I think you all are really trying to trick me. You're trying to get me to go look that up on Urban Dictionary right now on a live stream. I'm onto you. I see your ways. I'm onto it. You thought you could outfox me. I'm just joking. Okay, Smolivia says, Persona 3's music has really shaped my taste when I was 17. So happy you're doing this review. Me too. I really recommend listening to the remix of the song you just heard, which we just did. Edie B is the sickest, says, saw your Earthbound reaction, glad you enjoyed it. Love to check out Final Fantasy VI. You have got it, Edie B. Liam says, enjoy this a lot. Looking forward to more people experiencing this game when it gets released. Yeah, super stoked too. Super chat towards Shin Megami Tensei 4, please. You have got it, Liam. And you stabbed me with a fork. Says, good video once again. Giga Chad. Loved the OST. This one is for Binding of Isaac or Isaac or Isak, depending on how biblical you want to go. Thank you so much. You stabbed me with a fork. Thank you all so much for your support, for your super chat. Please hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can check out the link for the 10 things I think every gamer should know about music theory. And I will see y'all next time. Have a nice one. Bye.